we're going to talk about how to do linear inequalities. So if you look at exercise 1, instead of the linear equations we talked about, you got y is greater than x plus 3. Now, the biggest difference with this is that we're going to talk about two different types of lines that we're going to use, and we're also going to talk about the shading. So you can put this on your paper. I'll put it off to the side. You can put it in the same spot. But you have your less than or greater than line or symbols, which in the case of if you see those, the line itself is going to be a dashed line. And then you have your less than or equal and greater than or equal, which would be solid lines. For the less than, you would have to shade below, and we'll look more into that as we do this question. And the greater than or equals are shade above. So, for example, if I had a greater than sign, that would mean I have a dashed line and I have the shade above. Now, they give us 3 points per A, and we'll talk about and get to those points later, but they want to know if those points are going to lie in the solution set. So you want to take x and y and plug them into the equation. So you have 7 is greater than 2 plus 3. So we get 5 for that part. So 2, 7 should, it's a true, it does end up in the solution set. So you can do that with the other 2 points. Now for part B, I'm going to move this down. For part B, it says to graph the line y equals x plus 3. So this is a dashed form, because again, it's a greater than sign, like it says in the question, y is greater than x plus 3. So I'm going to write that down here, so I just have it for reference. Now you'd want to go to y equals. And type in our x plus 3. You can see where the line is, and then you can see the direction that it's going. So I got all these points I'm going to plot. Now I'm just going to plot them like I was just talking about. So I know the y-intercept is 3, and then there was 1, 4. So I got a general idea of what this line's going to look like. And then it says a dashed form. So basically what we want to do is just kind of dash the line. So if you go in the direction, just kind of put dashes, kind of like I'm doing. Still have arrows at the end, because it does not stop. And then, like we just talked about, it's shade above, because it's a greater than sign. So we talked about the point 2, 7, which 2, 7 is here. So that means that that was an answer, which means shading above, like we just mentioned, would be the correct thing to do. And then for part C and D, they want us to plot those 3 points from above. So we had 2, 7. We have 0, 1. And then we had 1, 4. So 1, 4. So we got these 3 points. So 0, 1 is not in the solution set. So if I was to plug it in, 1 is greater than 0 plus 3. So 1 is not greater than 3. So that one's false. And then 1, 4. 4 is greater than 1 plus 3. Well, 4 is not greater than 4, so that one's false also. So because it's dashed, that's not an answer. Not a solution. And the same thing with this one. So the only one that's a solution would be the numbers in the shaded area. And for part D, it says choose a 4th point that lies in the region you shaded. So we can pick any point. I'm going to pick the point -4. I'll pick this point. I'll pick -4, 2. And they said show that it's in the solution set. So again, I would take my equation. You could put it down where D is. I'm going to put it underneath. So you got 2 is greater than -4 plus 3. So 2 is greater than -1, which that would be true. Now we're going to look at one other part on the back. And you can finish the graph for exercise 2, but I'm not going to have time right now to finish it. So they give us this inequality, and we're going to use some of the skills we talked about for this unit, which would be getting y by itself. So I'm going to write down my, we're doing that part, so I'm going to write down my inequality to start. And then again, we're trying to get y by itself. So we're going to take the x term. We'll use subtraction to cancel it out and move it. So we have negative 2y is greater than or equal to negative 3x plus 2. And then we're going to divide by negative 2. Now, because we're dividing by a negative, we're going to have to flip the sign on the inequality, because it's going to change the sign of each of those numbers. So we'll end up with y less than or equal to, and then it'll be 3 over 2x minus 1. So now we're able to graph that. And when you do the shading and the typo line, you base it on the y equals version, which we just have here. So I know because it's less than or equal, it'll be a solid line, and I'll shade below. So you can graph that on this, and after you do that, you can answer parts. Well, C is the shading part, so they want you to shade it. And then you can answer part D as well, and then let me check it.